Hey everyone, I know I'm a little late this week, but I've just been really busy with stuff. And this week I want to review The Alloy of Law by Brandon Sanderson. I think Brandon Sanderson is arguably the most renowned fantasy author of the last decade. He has definitely surpassed George R.R. Martin in the past few years. He has been able to consistently publish books, unlike George in the past decade, and because he has been able to attract more young readers. But anyway, this video is not about George, it's about Brandon, author of the Mistborn series that I've talked about previously. He has also written other books like Elantris, which was his first published novel, Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians, which is his more kid-friendly series that he's been working on, and most recently the Stormlight Archive series, which has revolutionized contemporary fantasy as we know it. Something that's interesting about Brandon's work is that all of his books take place in the same universe. They're all set in different planets and don't really cross each other, but sometimes there are subtle references between the books that make it a neat little detail for fans of his work. There's a lot of memes going on around Sanderson and how it seems like he finishes writing a book every other day. This is a big reason why he is now the biggest name out there in the fantasy world. He also has a YouTube channel where he talks about writing, and he shows full sessions of his creative writing class at Brigham Young University. The book I'm reviewing today is technically book number 4 in the Mistborn series. However, Mistborn is divided into a trilogy of trilogies. So this would be book number 1 in the second trilogy. And they're all standalone, so you can pick up this trilogy without reading the first trilogy, if that makes sense. The Alloy of Law takes place in the same world as the previous trilogy. It's approximately 300 years after the first trilogy ends, and it's heavily inspired on our 20th century universe with a lot of steampunk elements. The book is considered a mix between Western fiction and fantasy. The story follows lawman Waximilian Ladrian, which is abbreviated to Wax, and his partner Lessie, who are investigating a serial killer in a small town. A lot of his story revolves around action, unlike the first trilogy that is more about world building and creating this magic system that he is famous for. This book is definitely faster than the first trilogy. Some people have criticized his decision for that because a lot of readers really enjoy Brandon Sanderson's detailed universes and magic systems, and they enjoy his prose. But because this novel is faster, it kind of removes a lot of that. But it's still fantastic. It's really well crafted. The complexity of his work is something to be admired. If you enjoyed the original series, you should definitely continue reading this one because of how much it adds to the original series. And it's just more content in that world that people who enjoyed it the first time would definitely like to revisit if they have the chance. A lot of this world and the themes of the book have to do with religion and faith, and we see the characters struggle with the gods in this book and a lot of politics. The book is also filled with classical heroism and self-sacrifice, doing things for the greater good, and it's an element that is very classical when it comes to fantasy, but those themes added to Sanderson's world make it a very unique kind of story. And I haven't personally read other books that have this mix of the Wild West with such developed magic systems. like the ones that Brandon develops. I mean, like I said, the action in this book is fantastic. He is really creative with the ways he manages to incorporate his magic systems into this world. The fight scenes and action scenes are like nothing I've ever read before, and it's definitely something that he improved on throughout the years. Also, something worth noting is if you decide to buy this book, I highly recommend getting the UK cover. It is significantly better than the US cover. I've already showed this copy before, but I think its size and flexibility and cover art are just magnificent. And not that the US covers are bad, they're just not as good. But I mean, if you can't pick and choose, then whatever copy's fine. Overall, this book is very well done. It's still different from the original series. Instead, The Alloy of Law focuses on a fast and fun-paced narrative, unlike the first trilogy that is slower and more focused on world building. And I would highly recommend it to any fantasy fan. I think you will have a great time reading this book and really enjoy the Wild West fantasy elements that Brandon Sanderson develops. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.